the United States has worked to help achieve a comprehensive end to the long and tragic Arab-Israeli conflict. We have always been clear that only through direct negotiations between the parties can the Palestinians and Israelis achieve the peace that both deserve. 2 states for 2 peoples, with a sovereign, viable, and independent Palestine living side by side in peace and security with a Jewish and democratic Israel. That remains our goal, and we therefore measure any proposed action against that clear yardstick. Will it bring the parties closer to peace or push them further apart? Will it help Israelis and Palestinians return to negotiations or hinder their efforts to reach a mutually acceptable agreement? Today's unfortunate and counterproductive resolution places further obstacles in the path to peace. That is why the United States voted against it. The backers of today's resolution say they seek a functioning, independent Palestinian state at peace with Israel. So do we. But we have long been clear that the only way to establish such a Palestinian state and resolve all permanent status issues is through the crucial, if painful, work of direct negotiations between the parties. This is not just a bedrock commitment of the United States. Israel and the Palestinians have repeatedly affirmed their own obligations under existing agreements to resolve all issues through direct negotiations, which have been endorsed frequently by the international community. The United States agrees strongly. Today's grand pronouncements will soon fade, and the Palestinian people will wake up tomorrow and find that little about their lives has changed, save that the prospects of a durable peace have only receded. The United States, therefore, calls upon both the parties to resume direct talks without preconditions on all the issues that divide them. And we pledge that the United States will be there to support the parties vigorously in such efforts. The United States will continue to urge all parties to avoid any further provocative actions in the region, in New York, or elsewhere. We will continue to oppose firmly any and all unilateral actions in international bodies or treaties that circumvent or prejudge the very outcomes that can only be negotiated, including Palestinian statehood. And we will continue to stand up to every effort that seeks to delegitimize Israel or undermine its security. Progress towards a just and lasting 2-state solution cannot be made by pressing a green voting button here in this hall, nor does passing any resolution create a state where none indeed exists or change the reality on the ground. For this reason, today's vote should not be misconstrued by any as constituting eligibility for UN membership. It does not. This resolution does not establish that Palestine is a state. The United States believes the current resolution should not and cannot be read as establishing terms of reference. In many respects, the resolution prejudges the very issues it says are to be resolved through negotiation, particularly with respect to territory. At the same time, it virtually ignores other core questions, such as security, which must be solved for any viable agreement to be achieved. President Obama has been clear in stating what the United States believes is a realistic basis for successful negotiations, and we will continue to base our efforts on that approach. The recent conflict in Gaza is just the latest reminder that the absence of peace risks the presence of war. We urge those who share our hopes for peace between a sovereign Palestine and a secure Israel to join us in supporting negotiations, not encouraging further distractions. There simply are no shortcuts. Long after the votes have been cast, long after the speeches have been forgotten, it is the Palestinians and the Israelis who must still talk to each other and listen to each other and find a way to live side by side in the land they share. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the distinguished representative of the United States, and I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of France.
Monsieur le Président de l'Assemblée générale,
Mr. President
Monsieur le Secrétaire général,
General Assembly,
Monsieur le
Secretary
Président
General,
de l'Autorité palestinienne,
Mr.
Messieurs
President
les
of the Palestinian
ministres,
Authority,
Messieurs les ambassadeurs, chers
Ministers,
collègues,
Ambassadors, colleagues,
en votant aujourd'hui
in
pour la
voting today
reconnaissance
for
de
the
la
recognition
Palestine
of Palestine
comme État non membre
as a
observateur de cette
non-member observer
organisation,
state of this organization,
la France a